I'm Mel, and together with my teammates Quinn, Kingsley, and Eric, we'll be introducing our new mobile application, Roof, a renter-landlord communication app. Moving into my first off-campus apartment was a challenge in more ways than one. However, my roommates and I struggled most with communicating with our landlord. Messages would often get lost across various threads, and we could go days without knowing if our AC was actually going to be fixed or not. Roof was developed in direct response to these frustrations and aims to connect renters and landlords.
Hi, I'm Quinn, and together with my teammate Eric, we're going to introduce you to the two sides of Roof, the landlord side and the renter side.
On the renter side, renters are able to make AI-assisted maintenance requests, make direct rent payments, and we encourage community through features like social posts and shared grocery lists.
On the landlord side, there's document management, smart request tracking, and payment tracking and history. So one of the great features of Roof is the ability to chat with your lease agreements. So there's some questions that my renters have been asking me, and I'm going to check with their leases. So I'll go in here to the downtown condo, and you'll see one of the sections here is for documents. So if I go in here, I'll see I've uploaded a lease agreement as well as some other documents, but I need to ask some questions about this lease. So if we tap the chat with this document button here, I can ask it a question like, what's the late fee? And it'll respond back with the late fee, and then I'll be able to update that in the payments section of Roof. So here it says for this property, the late fee is $50. So I'm going to go in and set that now. On the landlord side, we also have a payments feature. So if I look here on the payments tab, I can see the total amount of rent that's been paid, as well as unpaid rent and expenses in this nice view here. And if I tap in, I'll get a nice summary, including my net income and a summary of upcoming taxes. But I'd like to check the status of some of my existing tenants' payment status. So I can see the status for each property, how much has been paid, and which might be late or have already paid. And if I tap in on one of these, I can see the payment history for each of them, make changes to their amount due, and any late penalties. Finally, I'd like to go through some of the features on the maintenance request tab. So you'll see here our list of maintenance requests that are open. I'd like to go down and look at the details for one of these. So for example, here's a broken window pane. If I tap on it, it'll show me the status as well as the priority and what room it's in. Looks like the renter wrote a description and given me some comments. But really I'd like to change the status here to in progress to let them know that it's that I've seen it, and change the priority from low to high because it looks like it's a pretty disastrous issue. I'll go back out, and I've actually got a lot of open requests here, and I'd like to get a quick summary of them. So I'll tap on this button. It'll give me a brief overview, show me some of the urgent issues as well as the recommended or expected price for fixing them, as well as some recommendations for preventative issues. So if I want to keep up to date on these requests so that fewer of them are coming in, I could do that. So here I'll check service the HVAC system and add that to my preventative list. If I go back and view, I've got a few preventative items in here, and I see that the status of that request has been updated.
One of the core features of Roof for renters is making a maintenance request. So here we'll go into that maintenance request page and make a maintenance request. So here we'll actually be able to submit a photo of our issue here. So let's say I have a leaky sink, and we can actually submit that. Here we'll be prompted with a smart fill option to use AI to fill that up. So here we can wait for that, and we'll have that information show up. This looks like a pretty good description of what my current issue is. And so we can easily press submit and wait for that request to be submitted to the landlord side. One of our user suggested features was the payment functionality. And so on the home page in the renter view, we can actually do that. So as we go in here, we can see all of the current payments and also overdue payments on this page. Looks like I have an overdue payment this month, and we can see the late penalty that's actually been applied to my total amount. We'll go ahead and make that payment here, and we'll go ahead and enter in my credit card information. There, and go. Great. Now we can see here that I have successfully made my payment. We wanted Roof to also facilitate community, and so we have a community page for our renters. On this page, we'll be able to view some shared chores on a shared to-do list, be able to look at a list of shared grocery items that are completed as well as active grocery list items. Also are able to make amenities and reservations to those amenities if we wanted to create and divide a space in a property. And we also have an expenses page in which we can take pictures of receipts and share some of the expenses that we made during that trip. Next, we have a community post area in which we can look at all of the posts that have been made by myself or by my roommates. So it looks like we have a birthday party coming up. And so we can also interact with these posts by liking it and even looking at comments and engaging with these posts.
I'm here with Kingsley, and we're going to be going into some of the technologies we used when developing Roof.
For the Roof, we built our app in the Vector, which is basically give us a native app for the iOS and Android. Just use one code base.
We also handle payments in our app using Stripe. From here, we're able to make payments directly from our app, as well as track them over time through Stripe's API.
Behind the scenes, everything is run on the Firebase and the Google Cloud. The Firestore is handled real-time updates and also keep the renter and the landlord accounts more secured. Storage take care of all the documents, receipts, and photos.
We also have AI integrated in a few places throughout our app. We use Google's Gemini with custom prompts, which the responses are then formatted directly into our interface. This can be seen in places such as the document chatting feature and the AI maintenance request summaries. Through developing Roof, our team learned how to create a technical solution to a real-world problem. We're able to implement user feedback throughout the various releases of the app. We also prioritized creating a user-friendly and overall fun app to use. Thank you.